Good morning, everyone. We're here for the Sunday Mindset session. A little bit of comedy before Tony and I get online and talk about everything mindset. You're probably wondering what we were going on about, but that's left for another story, another day, maybe some private conversations as well, Tony. How are you on this Sunday morning, Tony Meredith?
Well, Luke Moroney. Well, Luke, you're in Brisbane this week. Didn't get a chance to see you, but, mate, I'm terrific, thank you. So I love Sunday mornings, love getting up and about, doing the Sunday Mindset session with you. How many have we done? I've lost count.
89 today, 89.
Oh, my goodness. So we've got 11 weeks to go. We need to, and truly, you and I need to privately think about the 100th. In fact, what we should do is put it out to the viewers as well, because I know there's a number of you who tune in week after week after week, and we're so grateful for you giving up your Sunday morning and listening to us. And if you can't get it live, I know that you get the replay. But we'd love to know in 11 weeks' time, what should Luke and I do for the big ton? What should we do? So there you go, mate. In fact, I'd forgotten about that. Gosh, I'm getting burnt here already. It's going to be hot in Brisbane today. They reckon it's going to be a screamer, and then we're going to have storms of Savi. So it's already started. The
Savi. Can hear that Brisbane twang coming.
No, it's not a Brisbane. No, it's not a Brisbane twang. Brisbane, they talk a little more proper. No, I'm from the bush, right? And so, what's the old saying? You can take the boy out of the bush, but you can't take the bush out of the boy. So I'm a country boy at heart, and will always be, proud of where I grew up.
Well, we've had Tony Gallagher come on, Kelly, David, and a few others. And Tony says, alive in the park, his suggestion. A lot of good mornings coming through as well, Tony. And
alive in the park.
About the country ideas and the country upbringing for yourself, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And we are talking about changing the meaning today. So is there an area that you've got to think about changing the meaning for yourself, or you're just going into your roots?
And I'm incredibly proud of where I grew up. I don't think I need to change the meaning about growing up in a country town. I'm grateful for it. I got to experience some wonderful things that city kids don't. And I look at my kids are city kids, and so I still think they believe that the milk comes out of the bottle. So, it's about, I'm very happy with where I grew up. There's plenty of other meanings that I'd change, but in regards to where I grew up, no, I'm very happy with that. And the experiences that I got when I was a boy and spending time on big dairy farms. It was good fun.
Tony, we're talking this morning about the true meaning for yourself.
Thank you for letting me know, by the way. I was a bit unsure. I was trying to understand what our exact topic was today. So thank you. Actually, I spoke to Tony Gallagher yesterday. So he pocket dialed me, and I rang back, and he said, "Oh, sorry, mate, I pocket dialed." We had a 5-minute chat, and it was lovely, Tone. So it was good to catch up yesterday. And I was telling, he said, "What, tomorrow?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about yet." So, and normally it's the way we work on a Sunday morning. So, what do we talk about? That'll do.
15 minutes before, but you know what? We're working on this all week, really subconsciously, aren't we, Tony?
More, I'd say actually consciously. So, for example, for me, a lot of the ideas that I come up with are things that I'm seeing throughout the course of the week, things that are happening with my clients. And it's something that I think, well, you know what? If that's what the majority of my clients are experiencing at the moment, then I wonder if that could be of benefit for other people. And I know that what we talk about today is going to be a benefit. I don't exactly know what we'll talk about. I don't exactly know what will come out of my mouth. That's more of a surprise for me, to be honest, than others. Who knows which direction we'll go in?
Oh, well, we have the ability to come up with, things that are alive and raw and really truth about, those conversations that we are having with clients, yourself, Tony, in a small business coaching avenue, and for myself in a coaching point of view with property investors. There's a lot of that actually comes up in conversation, which is like Ken Murray says, random chats are the best. And I actually find that I surprise myself in a lot of situations where things come up that you don't even realize on the back of interaction and questions. And that's why we always talk, Tony, about getting it out loud.
Absolutely, but then should you go and change the meaning around that? So rather than being surprised what it is that you say, is it a case of you back yourself? Because you've been having these conversations for a while. You've trained in NLP and coaching. And so it's like, well, you know what? Believe in your own ability, because you do have a wealth of knowledge. And you and I have had very in-depth conversations privately. Obviously, we have this one on a Sunday morning, which is a little, sometimes a little closer to the surface. But, I mean, I know that privately we've had a lot of deep conversation. You've got a lot of skills in that particular area. So my suggestion and advice to you and recommendation is No, don't be surprised by it, because you're very good at what you do. You're a qualified, counsellor at Lifeline, and et cetera, et cetera. So,
I guess Tony, the belief is there, but sometimes that you don't realise what is actually going to come up, and it's like that is actually really good. So when it does
Gotcha.
come out, like I get a sense that that's actually a really good response, or that's a really good quote, or that can really change someone's idea about it, and maybe find the true meaning for them.
There you go. There you go. And do you have a little notepad beside you? Go, gosh, that's great. Let me capture that. Let me capture that piece of gold that I just mentioned. There you go. Fantastic.
I'm all ready for it today. Instead of using the little sticky notes and writing in the corners. Tony, I want to get back to the topic of what is the true meaning for you. And I guess you've come up with this particular topic today on the back of several conversations, not just one, but several conversations people are having right now with you about their own lives in business and so forth. Before you get to that, we've got Peter that's come on, Clinton, Ken, Nigel, and my mother as well. So lots of people joining, and there's a lot of good mornings from everyone. Sunday morning is where it's at for us, and hopefully where it's at for you on the mindset path, your journey. Tony, true meaning.
Well, the true meaning is that the most common example of this is, in fact, you took a drink there right on cue. And I don't have a drink with me. Yeah, but it's the most common example is the glass half full, half empty, right? And so it's the same glass with the same amount of liquid in it, but yet people look at that glass from a pessimistic point of view, that is that it's half empty, and others look at it from an optimistic point of view, that is that it's half full. And I suppose that is the most common example of where the same object, two people can have a very, very different interpretation of that object. And it happens all the time. It happens around the type of meaning that we go into things. For example, people will wake up, they might be tired, so you mightn't have had enough sleep, for example. And it's not about BSing yourself, but if you wake up and don't have enough sleep and you say to yourself, I'm tired, and you think to yourself, I'm tired, and someone says to you, how are you feeling today? Oh gosh, I'm tired. And the more that you say this sort of stuff, and now the meaning around that is that you're going to be incredibly tired, versus if you change the meaning and say, well, it is what it is. I might have only had 5 hours sleep. I might have only had 6 hours sleep, but you know what? I've got enough energy to get me through the day. I've got enough energy to do the things that I need to do today. Obviously, you want to then incorporate some things around, constantly rising and falling, so sitting and standing, etc. You're getting some movement going, drinking plenty of water, so on and so forth. So there's some of those other things that you can incorporate, but it starts with the meaning. And so it's the meaning of, you know what? I've got all I need today. I've got the energy to get through the day. And so for those people who are tired, for example, I know that it all happens to us at different times, that why don't you, next time you catch yourself going, I'm tired, switch that meaning around and start to think about, I've got all I need for the day. I've got all the energy I need for the day, and I'm now going to get in it. Because here's the thing. You can't go and change the fact that you only had 5 hours sleep, obviously, unless you go back to bed, right? But if you've got commitments and so on and so forth, it's not that easy. So stop having the meaning of, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired. Start having the meaning of, I'm excited about what is in front of me. And again, people do this around their job. I was having a conversation yesterday, one of the viewers here, and, we're talking about the fact that change the meaning around the job. And when he changed the meaning around his job, all of a sudden it looked very, very different. The world looked very, very different. And so it's a case of, we quite often go, oh my God. And I used to do it, right? I remember back, in 2015 when I was looking to get out, and I used to say to myself, I hate my job, I hate my job, I hate my job. And of course, the meaning is that every morning I'd wake up, so I'd be tired. I'd tell myself I was tired. B, I'd then go, I hate my job. Look, I'm not off to a good start, right? And so I'm dragging my ass out of bed and off to the office, and not really contributing as much as I could have. Probably sitting at sort of 80% contribution. And I caught up on all this stuff because 2015 when I started to really get deep with the whole mindset side of things, and I then started to realise that the meaning that I was placing on things fundamentally was changing the outcome that I was getting. And back then, I was getting a substandard, or less than acceptable outcome because my meaning was less than acceptable. And when I started to change my meaning, then all of a sudden things fundamentally changed for me.
Tony, I want to go on to that idea of hatred in a moment, but we've got a couple of comedians that have come on to a few sentences out there. Hayden West has come on and said, I look at a glass of juice and I think I'm thirsty, I'll drink the juice.
Terrific. Good.
Focus, right? That's true meaning about seeing the juice, getting it done. Ken Murray says, my wallet is half full. I need to do something to get it filled.
Great. There you go. Fire up the van.
Hey, these guys, even though they're comedians, we've got some good focus there.
Well, I think for Hayden, so what I'd say for Hayden is, that's about thirst, it's about hunger, it's about drive, determination. So that's what I could interpret about what Hayden said. For Ken,
no, Hayden's staying in flow with that. So basically, he's all about flow. So he sees the juice, he is with the juice, he is the juice. Going in with Ken.
He's one with the juice. Hey? Be the juice, hey? Right. And so Ken, fire up the van, mate. That's it. That's how you put more money in your wallet, is fire up that van, head out to the communities. It's do what you do best, and Tony,
I don't know if you saw our post during last weekend, but I did go and visit Ken Murray in Thurrool.
Okay, great.
Area. Got a soft serve cone. I had to go for home delivery. Actually to his home, and yes. Ken actually didn't do it. He left his wife Janelle to get in the truck. And
fantastic. That's good management, delegation. There you go. So there's a whole lot of things in that. So there you go. You don't have to be. You don't have to be the expert at making the ice cream cones if you're the head of an ice cream cone empire, right? So it's about having a good team of people around you.
Well, he's the brand, he's the personality. And Tony Gallagher says, yes, I had a great coach up with Tony Gallagher this week. Yep. So that's really good in terms of your coaching, Tony Meredith, in terms of, having that chat. And it's basically Tony Gallagher getting in touch with Tony Gallagher.
I get it.
A conversation almost with himself. And I guess that's what coaching is all about, right?
Well, that's the ultimate. So the ultimate is that you don't rely on a coach. So it's about me making myself redundant. Clearly, I don't want to do that, but I mean, the ultimate is where people can solve this themselves. When they have awareness around, it must have been something I said. Luke's out of here. So when people can solve it themselves and they can figure it out themselves, the issue is that people don't, truly have the self-awareness, and that's where then having someone else come in assists in pointing things out. And it's almost like, holding a mirror up to say, well, here's exactly what it is that I'm seeing. And it's like, okay. I didn't realize that's how I was portraying myself. I didn't realize that they're the things that I was saying. You just picked up on before, some language. And again, that's your training and my training around, NLP, with the L in the middle being linguistic or language. And so, you picked up on some different language. And that's something, again, that we're able to do because of our training, because we do this stuff on a regular basis, because we're listening to what people say. So ultimately, self-awareness is the key, but the reality is that not a lot of people actually have true self-awareness.
Yeah, Ken says, I love my job, love my job, love my job. So it's maybe kind of like where I say with property, buy. Ken's doing the same with, and just repeating these things. The more I repeat some of the things in property where I go, buy, people have that idea of like just getting themselves into something so simple, telling themselves those stories to actually get that focus. Like we talked about some of the comments earlier.
In regards to loving the job, right? Let's talk about that. So Ken, it'd be great if you could comment, and I'm sure you will anyway. But which part of it do you love? Do you love the making of ice creams, or do you love the smiles and the faces, or do you so I think the thing for me is you could easily look at that and go, oh my gosh, this is a repetitive job. Like some people would tackle that and go, this is a repetitive job. For example, I know that having been a manager at McDonald's, and they have a soft serve machine in there, that a lot of the, it's a very repetitive style job back when they were doing 30-cent cones. I'm not sure what they are today. But my point is that you could look at that part of the job and place that meaning on it. Or you could say, like Ken is, and I'm sure he'll say, that he loves the smiley, happy faces of the customers as they're, having the ice cream and the chocolate and all the other the trimmings that go with it. So you could see how you can, just in that one example, you could focus on different things and fundamentally change the meaning that you apply to, pulling some ice cream cones.
Yeah, to yourself, and then what it does to those kids, what it does to those parents of those kids, what it does to the community when you are driving through there, what it means. Because Ken sent me a message yesterday, and he had a customer come from Campbelltown down to Thurrool and organise their trip around what times Ken was going to be down by the beach in Thurrool.
Oh my gosh.
you know, that is then the changing the meaning for himself and the work that he's doing to actually influence other people to, you know, come and have an ice cream and bring out the joy and emotions around that. He also says so much better than 14 years as a lawn contractor. So yeah, that, like, obviously a different type of you know, meaning that it has around that kind of job, that now you have a different meaning and putting the smile on people's faces. Tony,
See, there'll be lawn contractors, and you know, and my largest client is within the franchise industry, and so there'll be lawn contractors who are out there who have a similar approach. They'll love their job. There'll be lawn contractors who hate their job, but there'll be lawn contractors who love their job and take pride, you know, in having a nice trimmed lawn and whatever it might be, because that could put a smile on a client's face as well. So again, it's a lawn. Ken's going, yuck, lawn or whatever, but I'll guarantee you there'll be plenty of people within the network that I work with that'll be saying lawn, like we just take an absolute pride in it. We love it. We love leaving it, you know, pristine, and we love the happy smiles and maybe sitting down with, you know, Gertrude having a drink of lemonade or whatever at the end. So again, it's interesting, right? So that's Ken's meaning on that.
Gertrude, interesting. Ken Murray
Betty
says, I reserve my service for paying customers, haha. And also, will fill your wallet. So yeah, it's all about filling up the glass, filling up the wallet. Same sort of situation as well. Good analogy around that. David says, my previous job, I love being able to solve problems for my customers. So,
right.
You know, that can then have a great meaning for you when you're doing that. Ken Murray says, interactions with all my customers, so many nice discussions. The joy we get from the kids and the children are happy too. Kids older, haha. Took pride, but it's bloody hard work. It is bloody hard work. Everything is bloody hard work, really. But are we needing to change the meaning of that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. As you said, that came out of your mouth. That's exactly what I was thinking. You know, so if we sit there and say it's bloody hard work, it's bloody hard work, then of course that's the meaning that we're going to be saying to ourselves, and that then will come out in how we approach that. I'm not suggesting for a moment that any of this is easy, but it's just remember the things that you're saying to yourself and really catch yourself in the moment. You know, gosh, this is bloody hard work. Gosh, this is bloody hard work. But I'm enjoying with a smile. Gosh, this is bloody hard work. Gosh, this is bloody hard work. You know, versus, well, it is what it is. Like, in order to get to the smile on a kitty, I got to do this. I got to do this bit. I got to, you know, do the cone and dip it in chocolate and whatever. I got to do that bit to get to that bit. So I just got to do this bit, because that bit there will lead me to this bit over here, which is happiness, joy, whatever. And obviously, then that also leads to the commercialization of what you do.
Yeah, obviously with Ken, you know, that's, you know, organising the supplies and then stocking the vans and then driving around the streets and then starting at 10 o'clock and finishing at 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. So, yeah, longer hours. And I think about, you know, what other areas in our lives are bloody hard work. So, you know, I even think about my run each day that I do 7Ks. Yes, it's bloody hard work to go there and push myself and, you know, maybe better my times at different and when I'm not feeling that well or not feeling the best, then I get out and still do it. But then what is that result? What is that meaning for me at the end to be able to go through that? Is it helping me mentally? Is it helping me physically? So the same sort of meaning can maybe help Ken in his idea of really focusing on the bloody hard work. But if he focused more on the smiles that he does put in places, in people's faces, I should say, then it might then take away that idea of the bloody hard work.
Yeah, 100%. So, and for you, so what are the things that you think of on those days when, you know, it just doesn't, you wake up and perhaps it's a day that you, and you've told us, you know, when you clocked over your 1,000th, that there's not a lot of days that you bound out of bed and feel excited to do the run. So what are you saying to yourself? What meaning are you saying to yourself on those days?
I'm going to feel better. I'm going to feel stronger. I'm going to be mentally clear and have that clarity. And maybe it's the same thing for Ken, is the focus on the smiles, the focus on the joy, the focus on the community aspect, the focus on the growth that he's getting from the work that he's doing. Kareen, good to have you on. You might be a new viewer to our Sunday mindset sessions. We talk all about mindset on a Sunday, because often on that Sunday, we're, you know, kind of like thinking about the relaxed, enjoyable, but then we're kind of almost a little dreading about what the Monday is going to bring for us.
Well, or the other meaning could be that this is our religion as well. So on the Sunday, so it's our religion each and every Sunday morning.
What's that REM song? Is it
losing my religion?
Well, it might be a flip side of that. Hayden says, focus on real estate. It's the easy bit. That's the same for me. Tony Gallagher said, I used to enjoy attending an insurance claim that was an old claim and not resolved, and the customer was rightly upset. No, I go in and put the meaning of I am here to resolve this for my customer. So yeah, it's a real good aspect, and maybe Ken Murray can learn from a little bit from what Tony is about, changing the meaning of what he is doing and what it is all about. So, and not only for the situation, but especially for yourself. And that's where it all starts. Kelly,
it comes back to self-awareness. It comes back to, if you're finding that it's difficult, if you're finding that it's a struggle, if you're noticing yourself be a bit more negative, the self-awareness is, well, what can I do about it? So remember what we talk about, there's a formula to help us change. And the formula is awareness plus action equals change. Awareness, you can be aware, but then you can go, yeah, I'm not going to do anything about it. So the first thing is you've got to be aware. And the second thing is you've now got to commit to taking some action. And when you do those things, then you can introduce significant change, or just any change, to what it is that you're doing. And so it's a wonderful example where Tony yesterday was telling me that he changed his meaning, and changing the meaning changed the way. Still going to the same job, still doing the same stuff, but the whole meaning around that particular job has changed. And he's really happy. He's really, really happy doing what he's doing because he's changed the meaning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think where does the meaning part come in your thought process of awareness plus action?
Well, the awareness is the meaning. So the awareness is, what meaning am I placing on this? So why am I feeling down? And when you dig a little bit deeper, it might be because I'm placing a negative meaning on this, because I'm placing a meaning of difficulty or frustration or whatever it is. So if I change that bit, that will then help me with the action, because I'm still feeling down and frustrated and I hate doing this. You know, if you sit there and say, I hate my job, are you really going to feel inspired to get up and do more work on a weekend towards your job? No, of course you're not. So the action stuff's going to be lower. So it's about, with the awareness side, recognize, my meaning isn't necessarily enabling me to maximize my potential. What if I changed it? What if I took an approach where, you know what, for this week or for this day or for this meeting, you know, it doesn't have to be anything too long. Again, we always talk about the power of one. I'm sorry if there's a lot of wind around, but it's a case of change the meaning for that meeting. If you ordinarily go into a Monday morning meeting and you drag your feet in and your shoulders are down, you think, oh God, here we go. Why don't you tomorrow go into that meeting and take a different approach and go, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I've got a job. There's a lot of people who lost a job last year. I'm so grateful that I'm able to contribute. And think about what are all the positive things that are relating to that particular job. And all of a sudden, you start to now think about it very differently. Same job, but now you're having a very different outlook towards it, a different perspective towards that. And I'll guarantee you that you're all of a sudden in the meeting, you'll be starting to sit upright, you'll be contributing a little bit more. And this is where it all starts. It starts with one thing. And then from there, it's like, oh my gosh, that actually worked. And I'm going to do it in the next meeting, and the next meeting, the next meeting. Now you start to get up and running, and away you go.
Kelly
and that's just one example.
I get great feedback from customers on the cleanliness of the workplace and organising supplies that are needed. That focus helps me feel better. And that's what it is about, changing meaning for yourself.
So, the only thing I want to say to Kelly, and also I was thinking about this with Ken's stuff as well, is when we rely on the feedback from someone else to make us feel good, then we're in dangerous territory. So it's about me knowing that I've done a great job and I'm really proud of the cleaning job that I've done because I couldn't have done a better job, or I'm really proud of the ice cream cone that I've made. I couldn't have made a better ice cream cone. And that's now the bit, because when I start to place all of my emotional well-being on people that are outside of my control, then if you do a great job and you go, oh my gosh, and Kelly, and I'm not picking on you, but I'm just using this as an example. If you go and clean a house, I think that's what you do. You go and clean a house and you go, this is an amazing job. And someone doesn't give you the recognition that you You got, what? But I, look, in your mind, you go, but I've done an amazing job, and you've not even recognised that. And we don't know that person. They might be under stress at work or family pressure or someone's died or whatever it might be. And so it's about do it for you. Do it for you. Control what you can control. Hopefully that makes sense.
Well said, Tony. I wholeheartedly agree on that. Maybe would you say that the feedback is the cherry on top, or would you
100%.
say that
100%.
you don't, like, it's not even a case of needing that at all or wanting that at all?
Look, ultimately, if you can get beyond having that at all, great. But that takes an enormous amount of skill, right? But to have someone to go, hey, don't get me wrong, when I do a great job and someone says you've done a great job, it feels friggin' awesome, right? I'm not going to sit here and BS people, but it's also a case of I constantly focus on what it is that I can do. And I analyse my own. So when I have a conversation, for example, it might be a coaching conversation, or it just could be a conversation, it could be a sales call, it could be whatever it might be. Have a guess what the two questions are that I ask myself. What went well? What could I do different? Right? It doesn't change. It doesn't change whether I'm trying to create awareness. I'm creating awareness at the end of the day. It doesn't change if I'm getting this through having constant conversations. Even after these things, like even after the Facebook Lives, it's not. This stuff from certainly from my perspective is about, well, how do I get better at this, right? And if you go back to session 1 or episode number 1 versus episode number 89, then there's a significant difference, because both Luke and I are challenging ourselves to be better at this. And so it's about, well, okay, that was great. I'm pleased that I said that bit, but you know what? I wish that I had allowed Luke to talk more there, or maybe asked a question there, or whatever it might be. Maybe use my hands less. So it's all about, sitting there and always asking yourself what went well, always what went well. And then that's first. And then what can I do differently?